Hey everyone, this is TJ Deal. I'm a managing director at Charles Aris Executive Search. As many of you probably already know, we're a niche search firm that specializes in corporate development and strategy recruiting, in large part for private equity portfolio companies. And I lead our corporate development arm. This is a practice I started just about 7 years ago, and since has gone from myself to now a 14-person team that's doing around 60 M&A searches a year for private equity portfolio companies, really focused on 4 different industry verticals: business services, technology, healthcare, and industrials. And so this session is really focused on one of the biggest questions we've been getting over the last handful of months, which is, what are you all seeing in the M&A hiring environment? Because there is a lot of news out there and noise out there. And it's been really interesting. The answer is it's probably the most fascinating market that I've seen since joining Charles Aris. Even more interesting than during the early months of COVID, in the sense that everywhere you look, it's layoffs. It's banks laying off left and right. It's interest rates going up and up. And yet, at the same time, we've never been busier as a practice in our history. In fact, we began more searches in March than we have in any month in the history of this practice. And it's been really interesting, this really interesting thing where we've been bracing for this drop, and we just haven't seen it in a significant way yet. Now, how could this be possible? How could this be the case? We've kind of identified 3 reasons that we think that this is kind of playing out the way it's played out. The first is private equity continues to charge on. M&A has become such a central thesis to a lot of these portfolio companies that for even some of these businesses that would admit it's not an ideal time to be doing deals, we're hearing a lot of, hey, we've got no choice but to charge on. Not having a head of M&A would be like not having a CFO or a CEO. The second is, while some industries have slowed for us, it's been a slower quarter for software, maybe not as slow as we would have thought, but others have seen this as a much better time to buy. We're seeing valuations going down in certain niches of business services, IT services, industrials, and healthcare. It's a less crowded, competitive marketplace than it was probably this time a year ago. And the third reason is, we probably have to give ourselves a little bit of credit. We've been bracing for this and preparing for it, and it's probably paid off. That mixed with the fact that, the executive search industry is becoming more and more niche, where specialized firms are taking more and more market share from the generalist firms. I'm sure that's playing into it as well. So in summary, while there is clearly uncertainty and shakiness in the general marketplace, while we're not out of the woods yet by any means, M&A hires have stayed surprisingly resilient throughout.